What's going on, guys? It's Greg and today we're going to break down a review on the Freeze 2.0 cleats from New Balance. I have worn this particular pair in about 5 games now and have gotten a pretty good feel for what they're like, so I'm going to break down the specs first and then let you know from wearing them the things I liked and did not like about them. So first up, they're from New Balance. They released the Freezes, I guess it was last year or 2 years ago, and slowly have gotten a lot of lacrosse players on board. It's the lacrosse specific cleat, and I think they did a really good job. I wore the first ones, now I've worn these for a little while, and I've seen from filming highlights a lot more players in the field wearing them, especially face-off guys, which we'll touch on just a little bit. But basic specs, I have the white pair here, which is white with gray accents, and then they have a ton of different colors. Rob Pennell rocks the all black, but there's a lot of them out there. They are $110, which is just about on par with what I've found for high-end cleats. They're anywhere from $100 to $130, so these are kind of right in the middle, on par with what you expect for a high-end cleat. And they weigh 1.25 pounds. That's both of them together, the whole pair. And weight is pretty important when you're talking about cleats. You want your feet to be as light as possible. And that compares to, I think, the Under Armour Highlights are 1.6 pounds, and the new Nike Huaraches are 1.55. So they are a very light cleat, and you definitely notice that when you pick them up. There's a little less plastic on the outsole here, and I think that leads to a much lighter pair of cleats, which is great for you guys who are trying to keep your feet quick. So the big selling point for these, and from the Freeze 1, was what they call the Quix Rail, Q-U-I-X, Quix Rail, which is, you've got your standard stud pattern here on the inside, and then you see this white pattern around the outside that has these spikes that stick straight out from the sides of the cleats. And so, a whole bunch of turf beads just fell out of those. The point of the Quix Rail is these cleats that stick straight out and then down. These are going to give you great traction when you're going in the forward direction, the linear direction, but as soon as you go to cut, you kind of turn your foot, and if you go to plant and change directions, it's going to combine these cleats with these ones on the outside to dig into the ground and give you much better traction, which is great if you're on older turf or on grass when you're prone to slipping. So I would say, having worn them, I don't know if I noticed that, I don't slip all that often, but I definitely was not slipping in these and felt like I had fantastic traction, and it worked really well. One thing with the previous pair is I actually stepped on my own ankle. If you're not used to having these spikes that stick out, I did kick myself and actually have a scar from that still. Didn't happen in the 5 games I played with these, but a couple people I've talked to have had the same problem of kicking themselves in their own ankles, so you gotta watch out for that. As far as the fit, these are a 10.5. I wear a 10.5 in almost everything, so they're pretty much true to fit. They are not too tight, but they do not have a separate tongue. So some cleats, like the Highlights, have a tongue that's not stitched into the rest of the shoe. This is attached down here under the laces, but it gives you enough room to comfortably get your foot in, and then it's plenty tight where your foot's not moving around. It was pretty much a perfect fit for me in a 10.5. Has this nice kind of rubberized toe, so you're not going to tear that up. That happens a lot with cleats, and overall it's a really high quality build, and the knitting seems really nice, and they seem to be holding up really well through a few games. So the things that I really like about these cleats, number one, I didn't have to break them in at all because they are so light and well knit, and they did the different panels really well. I wore them right away in the game, and they didn't hurt my feet. They didn't require any break-in, which I find is really important for cleats. Usually I have to wear them in at least a couple workouts or practices before I'm comfortable going into a game, but I felt like these were ready to roll right out of the box, which was really nice. And then the Quix Rail, I did find that definitely helped with traction when you're cutting or going on the sides of your feet. The only thing I would say that I didn't like is, it's a really minor thing, so it's this holder up here for the top lace, so the rest of them go through standard holes like you would in a normal shoe, and then this one has this little loop thing up here. I felt like it was a little high on the shoe and a little oddly placed, and also the laces always kind of fell out of it. They didn't hold on all that well. So a super minor thing that didn't really affect the gameplay, but just something to note. So overall, these were great to wear. I really enjoyed wearing them. I was only planning on wearing them for a couple games just to get a little review going, but I kept wearing them because I liked them so much. So next up, we're going to review some more cleats. Let me know down in the comments which ones you want us to take a look at so we can see what you guys need to know. So make sure to like if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't.